Yep. Good evening. We're back at you and gloves off. I'm Professor Buitrón. Today we have the debate of Laredo College Board of Trustees, Place 9. We have Ms. Tita Vela with us and Mr. Valdi Guzman. How are we doing this evening?
Just fine, thank you. Thank you so much for having us.
Oh, well, thank you all for standing up and always being there forward for the community.
Thank you very much, Paul.
Well, thank you, Mr. Valdi. We're going to go ahead and start off with a minute for an opening, and then we'll do some questions. So the person that starts off with the opening will be the second person for the first question. So I'll start off the opening right now with Ms. Vela. Ms. Vela, if you want to give us your opening.
Just very briefly, I'm Tita Vela. I am the incumbent. I have been a trustee for Place 9 for the past 6 years. And have worked pretty hard at the college trying to get stuff in order and making sure everything's run correctly. I'm born and raised in Laredo, taught at the college for 28 years. So that's my second home, and it was for many, many years, and it's very dear to my heart.
Mr. Guzman.
Thank you, Paul. My name is Osvaldo Valdi Guzman. Born and raised in Laredo, Texas, attended LISD schools, graduated from Nixon High School in 1986, and continued my baseball, went to Laredo Junior College back then on a baseball scholarship and attended Laredo Junior College. From there, continued my education and my baseball career at Texas Southern University in Houston, Texas. Came back and graduated from Texas A&M International. I've worked for the city of Laredo 27 years. The last 7 years, I was the director for Parks and Recreation, sir. And currently, I work for United Independent School District at the athletic department.
Okay. And we'll go ahead and start with the first question, and that'll be addressed to you, Mr. Baldi, and we'll take it from there. We are witnessing an emergence of high-quality, low-cost ways of learning online. How should we think about hybrid curricular options that is a mixing of new forms of pedagogy with the old that might be available to us? How will this affect the residential model of the college?
The way we're going, I think it's important to have both the hybrid and the classroom teaching. It's with all this new technology, I think it's very important to have those online classes because it also gives the opportunity to other people that are trying to earn a second degree or stuff like that. It's giving them the opportunity to attend school online. So I think it's very important to have both the in-room classroom and the online services.
Thank you. Ms. Vela?
The college has been doing online for quite some time. It's been several years, and it's been very successful. It opens the door for many people to come to school and to take courses like Mr. Guzman said. Right now, because of the pandemic, it's extremely important. We all know that we've really been quarantined. A lot of us have been quarantined because of the pandemic. And so the college decided to go online, which is what we're doing right now. Now, some of the courses that we teach and some of the areas that we teach, we cannot go completely online. Why? Because they need labs, science courses, and a lot of them you need the hands-on. And I'll give you the example of auto mechanics, the welding, air condition, even some of the academic courses, the biologies. We need the hands-on. Therefore, the hybrid comes in, and it's important. And if you go back and you talk to students, you find out that a lot of students learn better on one-to-one versus just online 100%. So I have seen and I have heard of many of the instructors, especially at the college, who are working double and triple times because they're doing online and then on their own are doing Zoom like we are with students, going through and teaching them, what the objectives of the course.
Now, the next question, and you will start off, Ms. Vela. Every college needs to understand its positioning within the higher education ecosystem. But critics argue that most schools are content to compete with the identical mediocrity of better gyms. For what, with whom, and on what dimension should this institution compete?
I don't think we should compete with anybody. If there's anybody we should compete with, is ourselves. There's no way that we can compete with anybody else. Again, sometimes we end up competing with ourselves. Why? We stand alone, and the classes, the certificates, the associates that we offer they're right there, and I don't see anybody in town that we could even consider competing with. It just isn't there. Like I said, again, I understand we have a 4-year institution that's extremely incredible, and it has done very well, but we should never even consider competing with them. We should work with them to better our community and our beloved city.
Thank you. Mr. Guzman?
I completely agree with Ms. Vela. I don't think we should compete with anybody. I think what we need to do is get better every day, every year. I know the college has goals and stuff like that, but we need to set, if enrollment was down this year, you know what, hey, let's push it for the next semester and the following year. The people we need to compete, the people that need to compete is within the own system. That's who we need to compete with, and try to get the college better every year, sir.
Thank you. Now, the next question, and it's addressed to you. While COVID-19 pandemic ravages the world, nations, the states, and our city, will most institutions survive these disruptions in roughly their current form? Which types of schools are most vulnerable? And what opportunities emerge for us here in Laredo College?
I want to say that the institutions that didn't have a plan when all this started back in March, when the COVID first started there in Laredo, I think the institutions that weren't able to adapt to change are the ones that are behind the 8 ball right now. Schools that failed to plan accordingly, all those are the ones that are behind right now. But the benefit of all that is that there's a lot of people now that are learning new technology, Zoom meetings. There's new technology that a lot of people learn. Um,
Okay, Ms. Vela?
This COVID and this pandemic has really opened our eyes to a lot of things. And I'm going to tell you that our faculty has done a tremendous job. They went on spring break, and during spring break, they were given 10 days to put everything online. And they did an outstanding job. Um, are we going to survive it? Most definitely we will survive it. We definitely will. Technology, like Mr. Guzman said, is the new everything. We can't live without it. The schools that I feel are the most vulnerable and that may have a hard time dealing with this are the private proprietary schools, and even some of the charter schools, because of the monies that is needed in order to keep up with the technology that is required.
Okay. Now this question, you will start. And that question is funding models vary widely and based on family and income. Is a student debt crisis as bad as journalists claim? Will there be new pathways for students with limited financial resources, especially after this pandemic?
Um, the student debt crisis are a lot worse than we even think. I have a daughter that's a dentist, and some of her friends have come out of school and graduated with $250,000, $300,000 that they owe. And it's so sad. It's so sad to see something like this. Will there be an end to it? I hope. But, there's so much resources available, and there's so many scholarships, and there's so many intern programs that, students can gear towards. Um, you know, uh, it's amazing the amount of aid that there is for students that want to go to school.
Mr. Guzman?
Yes, sir. First of all, I want to say my hats off to Ms. Bella and the rest of the board of trustees, because they did something incredible by doing that 20% off tuition. I think that was a big help to a lot of students, and my hats off to them, because that was something great that they did, thinking outside the box and stuff like that. And it's also very important what they did doing a partnership with the city of Laredo, with that Laredo Care grant money that they received, and partnering up with the city of Laredo. That's something that the college needs to pursue and keep on looking for different ways to have a healthy balance and to take care of the student, not only the students, but the staff and faculty at the college.
Okay. Now, the next question, and you will start, Mr. Guzman.
Yes, sir.
It is important that most institutions have a president, but many lack the transparency of powers. Where should the president's time be spent? Should the president be articulate in a vision or strategy versus directing the university's operations versus fundraising?
I think the president should be the leader of the college, and he should oversee all everything. He shouldn't be micromanaging anybody. I think it's important for him to oversee the different operations and place the key people that are going to help him, the board, and of course the students. So I believe that it's important for the president to have his certain key people that are going to make the college move every day.
Thank you. Ms. Vela?
The role of a president is to run the college. That's their job. Their job is to make sure that the college is being run correctly. Having people under him that or her, either or, that are doing a great job is commendable, because I don't think they can't do it by themselves. But their job is just to make sure that they understand what's going on at the college, that are visible on campus, and that they know everything, all the ins and outs that are going on. The fundraising that's mentioned in that question should be done by the economic developer. At the college, we have a foundation that's made up of people that from the community that have donated money and to the college, and the Alumni Association. Those are the people that should be doing. Now, of course, again, there are grants, etc. But we have a grant writer that's always looking for monies and ways that we can expand. So to me, the job of the president is to run the college and know exactly how the ups and downs.
Thank you. Now for you, Ms. Vela, you'll start the next question.
Okay.
In particular with the pandemic, should we create new tracks for faculty members who are able to harness technology to teach hundreds or even thousands of students, both residential and remote? Should we have more differential types of faculty roles? If so, should the potential compensation be higher?
From experience and from seeing how hard our faculty has worked, I do feel that they should be compensated in one way or another. Some, whether it be a small stipend to help them with their internet connections and with the amount of work that goes, because believe me, I've taught online and there's a tremendous amount of work that's done. The role of a faculty member now is completely different than it was when we were in college. The faculty member now not only does live classes, but they do online classes. So it's another prereq to get a job at a university or at a college. Should there be a different standards, different steps for them? I don't think so. I think it's a requirement that should be met by any new faculty member that's being hired. And again, should they be compensated? I do think so. I honestly do think so. Just in the wear and tear of your computer. I mean, all of them are using their own computers at home. And you know as well as I do that that's not cheap.
Mr. Guzman?
Yes, sir. I think new tracks are important, but they also, faculty and staff also needs to be provided with necessary training or whatever equipment, laptops or whatever they need, sir. It is very important for them to have their training, And like Ms. Vela was saying, compensation is very important. I think you got to keep your staff, your faculty happy, and those are the people that make the college run, sir. So it's very important to keep them happy.
Okay, thank you. Now we've come towards the end. It was fast. So I'm going to give you all both 2 minutes to give a closing to tell people who you all are. Mr. Guzman, you go first.
First of all, Paul, I want to say thank you for the invite. Ms. Vela, thank you very much for everything. My hat's off, like I've said before, my hat's off to you and board trustees to what you guys have done and are doing. And I just want to say thank you to my friends and family. Hey, this is the first time I run. It's a new journey. Been learning a lot, But I do ask the people to go out and vote for their best candidate, whoever they think is the best candidate. But I do urge the people to go out and vote. If you don't vote, they're not going to hear your voice. So it's very important to vote. And I just want to say best of luck, Ms. Vela, and continue doing the excellent work that you're doing.
Ms. Vela?
I mentioned earlier, I spent 28 years of my life there, plus 6 now as a board member, and it's very dear to me. My main objective and one of the most important things to me is the accountability and fiscal transparency. Not only fiscal transparency, transparency all over. I'm concerned, I am concerned as a trustee, just as the name says, I have been empowered by my constituents, by the taxpayers, to trust, for them to trust me with their monies. And that's something that that's my job, is to make sure that their monies are being used correctly. My primary, to me, the college is there, the most important department in the college. And the only reason we're there is because of instruction. What would we do? If it wasn't for instruction, we wouldn't survive. That's our reason for being. Our faculty, our staff, our students, the citizens of Laredo, the taxpayers, are extremely important to me. And those are what I want to take care of and make sure that each one gets what they deserve. Again, and I'm going to echo what Mr. Guzman said, early voting starts Tuesday. It's extremely important that everybody go vote. And, before you go vote, read up on the candidates, make sure that you know things about them and that they're knowledgeable in areas. But every single vote counts. Please, I urge you. And I humbly request your vote. Thank you.
I want to thank both of you. And I want to thank both of you for one reason, because it takes a lot for a person to stand up for their community. And Ms. Vela, you've done that for 6 years now. And Baldi, you've also worked for the city, and you've done that in your capacity within the city of Laredo. What I see here and what I see in this election is that this election is very important. This election is a key point in whether we love America or not, in many facets. So we need to exercise our right to vote. We need to stop being couch quarterbacks and saying that people do not do the right thing. Well, if you're not voting, you cannot be that couch quarterback. That's the way I look at it. And so right now it is very important for every single person to go out and vote. And I urge everybody, we have an extra week of early voting. Mm-hmm. And that extra week gives us one thing. It gives us a time to go out there and research the candidates more. And also, it doesn't give us an excuse for us to say we didn't have time. Webb County Administration of Elections, Mr. Tejas is doing an excellent job. You have curbside voting for those that are afraid of COVID. So it's easy for you all to go vote. And we have, here in Laredo, we have over 36 candidates that are running. So it's going to be a long list. Take your time. Do and exercise your right to vote. And about education, and both of you are running for that one key part that is very important to our culture. Mark Twain said it best. A person that doesn't want to read will never beat one that doesn't know.
Amen.
And that's very key, because an education is something that we're left behind after we finish school. So thank you all again. And again, be safe. Okay.
Thank you.
God bless you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ms.